Hello, everyone. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You are listening to the newsstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo. And tonight we're going bold. We are going boldly into our lives with Chick Chat. And we hope that all the chicks out there, all the ladies out there, if you're listening, we'd like for you to join us here tonight. If you have the link to get into us live right here on the network, please do. And we would love to have you join us. If you do not have the link and want it, let me know somehow in your comments, and I'll try to see if I can get it to you, and you can join us right on camera. Or you can connect with us just on chatting, because we would love that. But tonight, what we're going to talk about, as we're leaving 2024, we're going to talk about our inspiration as we're moving forward in 2025. And we're going to connect with women out there and talk about, kind of what they're going through and what they want to achieve. And that's what our goal here is tonight. So those of you that don't know me, I am Cece Shatz. I'm fondly called the Joanne of relationship building. I have my lovely friends here with me. I have Grace Ann here on this side. Grace Ann, say hello. Hello. It is so nice to have her with me. Grace Ann, if those of you don't know, Grace Ann and I are actually roommates. I room with her. And we have a wonderful time. We have wonderful experience. And we have a lot of little late night lady chats. And so we enjoyed that, which we thought would be fun to open that up. And then on my other side here, I have Joanne with me, Joanne Weiland. She's actually one of our co-hosts on linktoexpert.com. Those of you that don't know her, she has a collaborative, really a website. She's the founder of the cloud community called linktoexpert.com, and she is the chief connections officer on that. And we have a wonderful show called Link to Expert Business Showcase. If you're a business person out there, you need to be on our show. We do a lot of cool things for you. We get you out there, get you circulating with press releases and blogs and all these kind of things. And of course, you hear the lady of the house, right? The lady of the house is little girl. She's barking and she's letting you know that she is present. So let's move on with our show, because we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. We've got other people right here willing and ready to join us. So let's see who we have here with us. Hello there, Nikki. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Hi. We have Nikki. She's the expert in decision science. We are so pleased to have you with us.
Oh, and I also
did a terrific show with you. Oh, who do you have there with you?
This is my cat, Jasper. For some reason, every time I'm on a call, he knows, and he has to make an appearance.
Absolutely.
Hi, Jasper.
Absolutely. Well, it is so great to have you. I think we also have Lisa with us. Hey, Lisa, let's see if we can bring her up. Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, it is so nice having you. This is Lisa Lisser. If you guys don't know her, she does Dishing on Divorce. She's got 2 wonderful shows. Oh, she's got a. Who do you have?
Benny. He decided to join me. So
let's see. Who? Let's see.
His name is Benny. See?
Benny. Oh, Benny. I tell you, we love our pets, don't we? We absolutely love our pets. So you can see little girl, she's chiming in. Let me get this border off on the top here for us so we can take care of that. But Lisa does Dishing on Divorce and then Dishing on Divorce Next Step. So she's on Tuesdays bi-weekly, Wednesdays bi-weekly, and you have wonderful guests on your show talking about and helping those, get through divorce. And, it's really a very tough time, isn't it?
It's really hard. And people need education, and they need to know they're not alone, because the hardest part about divorce is that you're going through something you've never been through before, and you feel like you know nothing. So hearing from experts who I bring onto the show who teach that once you get a little information, you're so much more empowered and you're so much more in control of the process. And then on our next chapter show, we talk about how do you launch? How do you start the next phase of what's going to be your next best life? So it's really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I love to watch the shows myself. And Nikki, you can chime in, because as you move forward, right, into any kind of relationship loss, or if you're moving into another relationship, or you're trying to really redesign your life, no matter where you are, if you're married and you're saying to yourself, listen, I want something different for my life. I want to be able to start, doing something different. It's all about decision making, isn't it?
It is. And it's Lisa, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, what she said just totally resonated with me, because I think the number one problem people have when they freak out is a lack of information, and they don't know it. Like they don't realize that there's all this great knowledge that is right there that they could access, because their brains are moving so fast.
Yeah.
So I think you make a really great point. Just knowing what's next it's such a small but big thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that is so true. Well, let's get down and personal, because that's what the show is about, really about us talking, chicks talking together. And so is there anything particular on you ladies and you two ladies, that you're thinking about, like 24, that you want to try to, as we're moving into 25, you want to try to, maybe change or improve on, or maybe even focus? So we'll just do one at a time as we go along. And if your answer is the same as the other person, that's fine. Just share a little bit about yourself and why you think that. So let's start with you, GoingSolMedia. So GoingSolMedia, is there anything particular that you would like to maybe refocus on in 25 that, from 24?
Yes. So I worked in 2024.
Yeah.
And as I'm focused on getting better with my finances this year, that is probably my main focus of 2025. But I also want to relax a little more and enjoy, have fun. I tend to be very serious, and I take my mission of working and trying to get ahead very seriously. But then I realized last year I really didn't do much for myself or have fun. So that's my focus. More fun in 2025.
Yeah, I really like that. I mean, I think when you first talk about finances, I think that's probably on my list too. Is it on any of yours list? Talking about our finances and trying to, move forward in a very positive way with that. I mean, there's so many elements with regards to finances. It could be just everyday expenses, maybe looking at those and seeing, where my money's going, because often, as we're moving forward in a quick way, we don't catch things that we spend. And then also really trying to think about the future. Some of us have businesses. We're focusing on, we put money into our business. Is that working for us? How is that going? Then also, retirement. We have to always think about our retirement, because we're also young, and we know retirement is a ways away for us, but we do have to think about that. So I think that is a very conscious, decision that we all have to make on our finances. We all have to really think about it, evaluate it, think about it, and then move forward with that. And so, yeah, totally get that. And I love what you say about focusing on you and your happiness, with that joy. We often do the everyday things. And I think people that are out there, you don't have to be single to relate to this, and you don't have to be a female to relate to this, because I think that we all sometimes let life get in the way, and we don't focus on ourselves and what really makes us happy and enjoy some of those things. So Joanne, how about you?
Well, you said it might be the same. You guys are going to laugh, but I pick a word every year. And my word really this year is fun. And because I get it. I mean, really, truly, I feel like that's something most people don't think of adding to their interests, their desires, their goals, their, resolutions, whatever. But I really do believe that's so true, because what I ask myself is, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What, why do you think you're going to wait to have fun, to travel? Like with me, I finally went on a really nice vacation last year for the first time in 26 years, a real vacation with my husband. And it was fabulous. And I choose to do more of that. I have traveled over 1 million miles. So it's not like I never traveled, but it was always for work, like GoingSolMedia was talking about. And literally, I feel blessed to have seen 200 cities and met thousands of people, and I love it. But it wasn't just for me, for fun, to just enjoy. I fly in, go to the customer, and then you go to the hotel and then, fly back home.
So it's work.
So it was all
it's
work.
Yeah.
And again, I'm grateful, but I think it would be nice to do more things that are just simply for enjoyment and fun and to explore instead of just, going and doing a presentation or holding a class or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so-
totally agree.
Yeah.
How about you, Lisa? Is there anything particular, like in 24, you'd like to change and focus on more in 25?
So, what I look at is like these last few years, I've really been trying to build a new business, right? That's my divorce coaching is relatively new in the scheme of life. And I feel like it's so important. So I really have been focused as much as I can on how do I share the information about what divorce coaching is? How do I get out there? And like last year, when I think about my wins, Cece, I think about starting the podcast. And I mean, I know you remember at the beginning, I was so worried. I was so nervous, but it became so much fun that I decided to do 2 shows, and I'm getting more and more experts on and building relationships with those experts. So I feel like that is really lifting me. So I actually did a manifesting challenge the first 21 days of this year. And
that just ended then.
Oh,
yeah, it just ended, and it made me feel like I was much more connected to those things that are really important to me. And I've had my own experiences with manifesting, and I love the whole concept because you're visualizing what you want in your life. And one of the days there was something hard that happened in my personal life, and she said, pick a word. And so my word was blessings. And then I saw that word 4 times during the day. And for me, that means that I need to move into this year and really feel gratitude for all the blessings that I have, and also what I can share with my community. Because, I feel like putting out the energy is what reflects back. Like givers get, right? If you give it, it's going to come back to you. And so that's the energy I want to share, for 2025 and right here on this screen with the people who are watching. It's like so important to recognize that whatever is going on, we still have blessings. We still have what to be grateful for. So, yeah, and fun. Fun is always there.
Yeah, gotta have that fun.
And when you said about manifesting, the other day I was at a class that we talked about DOM, D-O-M, desires, opportunity, manifest. You have to know your desires, look for opportunities like you saw the blessings, and then they manifest. And just keep believing it, because that's the whole thing. I really believe we are what we think. And if we're doubting all the time, of course it's not going to come through. So the real key is just to keep, no matter what other people say, especially when you just start a business, Cece, and I know, even though I was a long time ago, but to this day, I still hear people tell me, how this is crazy. Why would people want to hire you to find an expert for them? So yes, it's just keep believing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I share with my clients too. Like they need to have the faith that as they move through their divorces or their life transitions, whichever it is, that there is a next chapter. There is a next step. And it's not always going to be the dark tunnel. It's going to be something much bigger and much brighter. And you just have to believe it, right? If you believe that you're stuck, then you're going to be stuck.
Yeah.
Whatever kind of a man or woman can conceive, we believe he can.
Right. Right.
That's true. And Nikki, you probably can attest to that, being an expert in decision making. That decisions, making a decision and moving forward in a positive way. So tell us a little bit about you, like 24. What are you going to change in 24?
Oh, man.
Refocusing in 25.
Well, first of all, every time I leave a year, I think we all can relate to this. For the last, I think since COVID, probably, like every year we enter feels like this is going to be different, man. This is going to be a good year this time.
Every year.
And last year 2024 was one of the hardest for me. I had A lot of personal things go on, a lot of transitional things happening. And it was kind of the year where I felt like I was constantly struggling and getting nowhere. So I think what I really have told myself to focus on this year is to stop struggling so much and just to slow down. And Joanne, what you said resonated to me about like, what are you waiting for? There are a lot of things that happened last year that made me recognize that life is really short and it's really long. Like we don't have a lot of time, but we also do. So there is still time for us to do the things that we want to do in our lives, but they're also, we got to get on it. So it's kind of counterintuitive to say that I want to slow down, but I want to get going. But I do kind of want to do both of those. I want to be intentional. I kind of want to slow down and think about where am I really going to put my energy? What am I going to be in service of? And then move on it rather than let life's inertia, like you just an object in place stays in place, right? If you're stuck in the same place, you're going to stay there unless you do something to get out of there. So I'm going to focus on those decisions that'll move me forward to where I want to be.
And another thought on that I just learned recently, I went to podcast last week, and long story short, they said have 3 goals. Well, one of the classes, not they said, but 3 goals instead of like, if you're like me, I can have 12, 15.
Right.
Right. But they say if you do the 3 accomplishes, get another, add to another one if you did one.
Yep.
When you're trying to do too many, and that's I'm guilty a lot of times, you get so spread thin.
Yeah.
If you really don't focus on that one and accomplish it, and then you get frustrated because you feel like you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting. 3, I thought only 3, but think about it. You could easily focus on it then, and they're not your things to do list either. They're real, goals that you really want to accomplish. Not that you didn't do the other things, and those are on your calendar, and you will get those done too. But if you have 3 major ones that you want to, focus on for the year.
That makes sense. Yeah. Like at the beginning of the week, you can sit down and write down,
and you are good at that
on your calendar about like what you want to focus on that week, and then you can home in on it, because like you said, sometimes we have so many things that are coming at us, and that we don't, it's like it turns into water, doesn't it? Because we have so many, we just can't be everywhere all the time, and we can't do everything and do it well. So we have to sometimes home in on that one particular thing. For me, I would like, and I found myself in 24, I was really working hard to get our station out there, get it in front of everybody possible. But this year I started thinking about that, and I love the idea that we're like everywhere, right? Everybody hears us that we're everywhere. But I want that authentic connection with people. And so what I'm going to try to do this year is I'm going to home in on that authentic connection, because I do feel that I want people out there, to understand that we're people, and that we experience a lot of times the shows that we put on, we do them because we've experienced it. And so we know what it's like. We know how to walk in the wrong direction and pay a lot of money for things. We know how to pick ourselves up after we've been crushed and hurt. We know how to do all of that thing. So we're sharing that, but sometimes I think we lose that authentic connection. And so I want to make sure that continues on, that we're strong with that, because I think that's what has made us to what we are. And so I don't want to lose that because we're everywhere, but I want to make sure that we're there. And then again, for me, finances it's an important issue, because I know you guys don't know this, but I am getting older.
No.
I know I lie to you all the time, but I am really getting older. So I do need to start thinking about my retirement, and that, am I ever going to have one? Right. I don't know, because I like doing what I do. I don't know if I'm ever really going to retire, but it's going to be out there someday. So, financially, you need to start thinking about that, filling my own cup, instead of filling everybody else's cup, I need to start thinking about filling my cup too. And when I was thinking about doing this show, I was wondering, do we all have the same kind of, even though they're different, we all kind of have the same mindset, the same way of thinking about things. We want to have more joy in our life. We want to travel more. We want to do more, so I wonder, that's why I thought as we can talk together, we can share. And, again, like you, Lisa, are so strong with community, maybe we can build a community of women that, is very supportive, that we can share shows and share it online. So those that, are feeling a little down during the day, they can click on, maybe a rebroadcast show or something that's been out there already, and they can listen to and really be saying, yeah, those ladies are just like me, and, I'm going through this too. And yeah.
No, I think that's a great idea. And I think that for all of us, we are so focused in the business sense for promoting our own shows, but cross promotion is so important too, because then it shows how we're all connected and how we all value each other, and that helps our community recognize that we value them too. Like, it's not just, we're not so single focused. And I wanted to share that, when you were saying that I need to slow down and get going, like, that's actually the title of a book, of a Jewish spirituality book written by Alan Marinus. And it's like, it's actually in the Bible. There is a phrase, and he translates it in that language, when the Jewish people are like not moving, the God says, stop, but keep going, because you have to stop your fears in order to help yourself boost up. And
So true.
it's like really, wonderful thought, because we feel like we have to keep moving all the time. But sometimes it's so important to pause.
Yeah,
So
it's moving without thinking, I think, that I struggle with. And it's really kind of embarrassing to say, because it's like one of the biggest, aspects of my coaching is to train people to slow down and constantly slow down and think things through. But we're all human. We're going to move really, really quickly. But it's the lack of intentionality in the moving that makes it a problem. Then you end up either stuck or where you don't want to be. And the only way to be intentional is to stop and go, wait a minute. What do I want to do? What is my actual goal, and what's the outcome that I want, and then how do I get there? Yeah.
Well, there is actually a Chinese proverb too, just like what we're all talking about, that I need to slow down and go faster.
Yeah.
And then when you also said about the Bible, one day this really happened to me. Did you ever hear that verse, be still and know that I am God?
Yes.
Well, I got something in the mail that was a card from one of my friends that said, be still and know that I am God. I'm like, okay, I need to slow down. And then that same day, one of my other friends brought over one of those long plaques that said, be still and know that I am God. I'm like, wow, okay, God, I get it.
I'm sending you a message. That's what it is.
Like, you got the blessing, that day. I mean, when it comes several times and you're just like, okay, this is serious. But I think it's so true. And I think that really, if you ever read about inventors and really successful people, almost every one of them took naps on a cigar.
Yeah.
They didn't think they had to work all the time, because they also knew when they woke up, they usually had a fresh idea. And so don't feel bad if you want to take a nap.
No, I actually just read about some research on this exact thing, on like, there is, scientific research on the power of napping. I mean, it's really it's not laziness. It shouldn't be a no. It really does rest your brain and allow you to think better.
It's so true.
That's great.
I like that.
Yeah. Do any of you take naps? Do any of you at all?
Only when I'm really tired.
Same.
Like, I don't intentionally, I don't like, part of what I talk about is like time blocking in my calendar. I do not have a time block in my calendar for a nap, but maybe I should.
Yeah. Well, look at how
Yeah.
many Latinos that I know that literally they take a siesta. When I used to travel all those years, for real, they would do that, and then we would go out and eat for dinner and stuff. But they seem to enjoy life a lot more than me. 'Cause I actually went from selling into New York City to selling into Puerto Rico, for an example, one time. I thought I was going to lose my mind because the New Yorkers would tell me to slow down, that I was talking too fast. Then I get down to Latin time and it, well, Joanne, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind. But think about it, they seem to enjoy life so much more than, nothing against New Yorkers that are just always in, the New York minute, hurrying up through life. And I know about you guys, but I was raised by two workaholics. So that was really something. You couldn't be lazy. You had to be. I felt like our hidden motto was do something productive every given second. And it's really hard for me to still to this day feel like I can just sit.
I know.
And it's embarrassing, but I mean, it's just programmed into you. But I also can tell you that this is going to help all of us. It helps me anyway. When you are thinking whatever you're thinking, just ask yourself, do I really believe this? Or is this something I've always been told? Is this something I just, think is supposed to be right? Because so many of the things that we were taught, the people that taught us didn't mean any harm, but it can really affect us. And so just be aware of what you're thinking, because our thoughts really do create things. And if we're always beating ourselves up, what do we expect other people to be doing? They surely aren't going to think highly of us if we're really already thinking lowly of ourselves.
Right.
So
creating that mind space, we don't want that taking up that space, with negative. Yeah.
So
totally.
just beware. I mean,
Totally.
Cece and I talk about it sometimes.
A lot
that,
about that.
A lot of it is old programming. And I feel like we just have to, sometimes you can even do different weird things to,
that tapping.
The tapping and everything.
You ever heard of that? The tapping? When people do the tapping?
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. But I think it's part of like one of the therapies, like maybe cognitive behavioral therapy. I think they have tapping.
Means that your thoughts. Yeah.
I think my parents did it, but in a different way. They didn't call it tapping.
Oh no, my
I'm
parents
kidding.
didn't do the tapping. They just said keep working, keep it.
I'm kidding. Yeah. But also, I love about the signs, because I think that we're given, I feel like that I'm somewhat intuitive, and I feel like we're given signs and we don't listen to those signs, right?
Yes.
And so it's important to do that. I know Martha Alexandra, I'm going to have her on the show here soon. She's wonderful, and she does a lot of blogs about that, being in tune with yourself, and understanding that we're all intuitive. It's that we block a lot of that. So we should definitely do, experience that, get out of our own way. For sure.
I'm very open to signs, and I get them every day, all day.
And if you
And I
recognize it,
listen.
that's the key.
Yes.
And you like candles. I know
I
you like
do.
candles. I'll
Good
come down and
job.
a candle's lit, and I'm okay, what's up?
Yeah.
Those candles. So she works from home. I work from home. And so she works downstairs and I work upstairs. So we're always working all the time. And the other thing, I wanted to talk a little bit about the connection, because this station would never have been built if it wasn't for connections with good friends. And so a lot of times we can meet people along the way who become excellent friends of ours, that we help out, they help us out. And so I feel that it's very, very important that we need to know that we're not alone on an island, even though you're from Long Island, right? You're from you're not really alone.
Face New Yorkers, yeah.
But we know you're not alone, because she's Italian. She's got like 15 brothers and sisters, so she was never alone on that island. But but we're not alone, and we need to remember that and reach out, because someone is always there to help us if we just say something. We just say we have a particular problem and ask for advice, and they can help us with that. You'd be surprised. Chuck Chuck Bryant built the entire radio station for me. I mean, I had nothing, and he said, I can do it. And he built the whole radio station for me, like bing, bing. For him, to me, it looked like, but for him, it was just bing, bing, and it was done, because he's an expert in that stuff. So, yeah. So, everyone needs to know there's someone out there.
What you're saying, Cece, is that there are people in your life who you can rely on,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so often we feel like we're alone,
Mm-hmm.
and we forget that there are people who we know who have expertise, and it's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
That could be also a big thing in 25. Mm-hmm. Like, it is okay to ask for help. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be an expert in everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, and actually, nobody is. I'm just being upfront. I mean, we have a collaborative cloud community where you can find an expert, check out their credentials, and actually hire them in minutes. And the reason I created that 20 years ago was because of the fact that when I worked with these CEOs all over the country, and sometimes doing global alliances all over the world, I found the people that were successful were the people that actually hired an expert and had them help them implement whatever ideas there was, because nobody knows everything. But a lot of times it's twofold. People that are the CEOs that want to hire one, they don't know where to find them, because many times they're not outgoing. Maybe they go to one networking meeting a month. And so they don't really know that many people. And then a lot of times the experts also, they can be introverts, but they're really brilliant when it comes to whatever expertise they have, but they're not always out there letting the world know. So we actually transform invisible experts into well-known experts by getting their name out there in so many different ways. Like Cece was talking about some of them, but we have so many more. The blogs, the press releases, the articles, the email blasts, the newsletters, on our TV, radio, podcast shows, other shows. I mean, we're just always doing our best to get you exposed to the world, because you really do have something that others need. But if they don't even know you're there, how can they hire you? And it's really all about helping each other, like you said earlier, and not being even afraid to ask, because nobody knows everything. And if they do, I would run, because I think they're
Well, I was thinking too, while you were talking, I was thinking like what Lisa said about being afraid of doing the podcast, and then now you love doing it. You're doing 2 shows, and you're really having a lot of fun with it. We really need to all learn something new. To step out of the box and learn something new. I've been doing, off the shows and stuff, but I've been doing like diamond art. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That is, I do diamond art, and now I gave a whole bunch of away for Christmas. And so now, because I don't want my friends to have to hide the stuff, because I've given them so much stuff. I can't keep making stuff, because I can't, they only have so many coffee tables and so many things. So now I have to think of something else to make them. So I'm going to try to make purse charms. So I'm trying to learn how to make purse charms.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I've learned something new.
Try something new.
Yeah.
Step out of that box.
And Lisa, I'm like you. I mean, Cece, a year and a half asked me if I want to be a co-host. I'm like, I don't know. I've been a guest expert many times, but I never was a host. And so I'm so grateful for Cece, believing in me. She's like, you can do it. I'm like, I don't know. And like you, now I have 2 shows, and thanks God for Cece, because otherwise I would have never did it. Because I have been asked many times to have a TV show or a radio show or a podcast. And without Cece, that is really there to hold my hand and lead and show me more and more. It is exciting. But it's so true. Try something new. Yeah. If you're like me, I had this little weird thing, but I never go home the same way I came. And I do that on purpose for the neurons again in our heads, because I feel like, I already know that way. Let me try the other way home. And even like doing anything at home, if you can just change the way you do it, just even a little bit. It's amazing, but how it keeps your flesh in your mind of that you can do new things instead of being scared to do it and always do the same
Yeah.
thing.
So do you park your car, like when you go to Walmart or something, a big shopping store, do you park it in the same, like right around the same area each time? Or do you park it like anywhere?
Anyway,
Okay, what about you, Lisa? Do you park your car in the same spot or anywhere?
So I haven't really done a lot of shopping malls since COVID, to be perfectly honest.
So you like a big store or even a grocery store?
Yeah, no, you know what? I actually tend to park in the same area, to be
Okay.
perfectly honest.
What about you, Nikki? Do you
I
park
did whatever's available. I mean, it kind of is depends on the time of day and how many other cars are there. But I have to say there are times when I just feel like parking as far as possible just to walk a while. I don't know why. I
That's
just
good.
sometimes like today is going to be one of those days. I don't know.
Yeah. What about you, Grace Ann? Do you park anywhere or you kind of park always to the left or to the right or in the?
So depending on what side, okay, say I'm going to Walmart, one entrance has food, the other is the
Oh, you're
pharmacy.
so logical.
So depending on where I'm going in that store, if it's Walmart, I will go to that entrance. But with that said, I also stay in the same area each time I go to each entrance.
Okay.
So yeah, when I go to Publix, I try to
Mhm.
stay in the same
Yeah,
area.
I do the same. I do the same.
Well,
Because I can't find my car if I don't.
Right,
If I
exactly.
don't, because that's what I used to say. That's why you have children, is because they remember where your car is parked. And now that my kids are all grown up, I have nobody to find my car for me.
Well, there is another
Thank
way
goodness
though
for
that
That's
really
why they
works.
invented the beeper
remote.
thing.
I do that every time. I never remember where I park. I just come out of the door just randomly
Well, there
pointing
is another
everywhere.
You know, Cece, maybe that's why.
Oh yeah, there's an app called
Oh.
Find My Car.
Yeah, I'm sure that there is. But
Smart.
all I can say is,
But also,
Yeah,
I
and
can
it
tell
works.
you what I really mean, and it just happened when I pulled in here. I actually asked my parking angels to get me a parking space, and almost every time I have one of the best, if not the best, parking space available. And my husband always still, after 38 years we're married, he still thinks I'm nuts because he says, "We'll never ever find a place." I'm like, "Well, we will. I'm gonna ask for parking angels." And he always still, after 38 years, is like, "Oh my God, we got this good parking space."
Yeah.
But so also you can ask your parking angels to
Yeah,
help you
for
find
being a
spots.
good person in general, yeah, we'll get you a good parking spot.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But I do understand why you do that because I used to do that, but
Mhm.
that's part of me stretching myself.
Yeah.
Again.
I used
Yeah,
to just
that's
get out of the
good,
car and say, "Okay, kids, remember where the car is." I don't remember.
It's too bad they're not labels like
Like
Disney
Disney
World.
World. Yeah.
You parked in Goofy Blue.
I know, for sure, for sure. So, okay, so any other things that we want to talk about that are, we kind of focus on or what changed in 25? You guys have anything else that you want to share?
I think it's really important to me, and I wish it was important. I clearly is important to all of you just listening to you all talk, but I wish it's important to more people around that I kind of notice that we live for more than just ourselves, that we pay attention to what others around us might need, and actually, if I guess let me just put it this way, if someone needs something and it's no skin off your back to give it, whether it's a compliment or $10 or whatever, just do it. Just
Yes.
do it, because this is a hard life. The world is a hard place, and the more we serve each other and help each other and give to each other, just it just gets a little bit easier.
It's
I
true,
just
absolutely.
That's something I'm going to really focus on in 25, is those little things that you can do for other people rather than just because I have been very much focused on my career and my my life and my family and my but the world's bigger than me, and I think what's going on in the world right now is making me recognize that you've got to give a little bit more. And I'm gonna have to go on that.
Yeah, so nice. Well, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so you can check me out at yournextdecision.com.
Okay, that's
Awesome.
great.
Thanks
Well,
so
thank
much
you
for writing
so
that
much.
down. Bye.
Bye. Well, Lisa, thank you for staying with us. How about you? Is there anything extra that you want to focus on in 25?
So I really like this idea that we need to give, because when we give, we get. And, I said it before, and I think that, it's about having an outward mindset, right? So often we're so self-focused, we're in our box, we just see those small things that are just about us. But if we could take a step out of that box and have an outward mindset, see the other person, see the person who's the cashier, and think about what's going on with her, and just adjust. If you think that person is struggling, just adjust, and then you can really move forward. And that's what I'm going to try to do, is really see other people and try and move toward them rather than sort of circling the wagons.
Yeah,
That's sweet.
that is really nice. Yeah, because it's true. Like when you're going to go shopping, even in the cashier, and you think about them, they've been on their feet for hours or doing the same thing over and over and again. And, so I always try to chit chat and how you doing? Have you been busy today? And, kind of talking a little bit like them, because, I think that, brings them out of a little bit, out of their, their job, and you take some interest. We take some interest in somebody. It's amazing what you can get back,
I mean, I actually really very often choose to go wait on the line instead of going to the self checkout.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Because then you get to talk to someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're working, so why not?
Yeah, for
Okay, so
sure.
I do it when there's no line, but still.
For sure. There's so many things we could talk about, especially as being women, I believe, and connecting and doing things. So do you, Lisa, do anything where you have any women's groups or anything like that particular that you do?
So that's what I'm looking to lean into during this year, 2025. I've spoken out to 2 different people who are starting new networking groups that are all women. And that to me is really about seeing everybody in a different zone. And yet we share this gender thing that is really about how we're different in the world. Like women approach things so differently. And I spent my 20 years in nonprofit work, 20 plus years working in women's philanthropy. So it was really about how women give, and women give differently. And maybe that's why I talk about giving, because I was in that space as a volunteer, and I might have not been able to give the most financially, but I gave everything emotionally, and with my time and with my creativity. And that was like, I felt that was my purpose. That was my passion. And so, I guess I was practicing the experience of being that kind of giving person and looking at things outside of me. And that's when I got it back. I felt like really fulfilled when I did that work. And so
Thank you for doing that, because that's such a great example for others too.
Thank you. Yeah,
sure.
But I'm going to have to jump also. So I don't know.
Okay, no problem. It's
Nice
great
to
having
meet
you.
you.
It's
Thank
nice
you.
having
Nice to
you.
meet
Thank
you.
you so much. We're going to do a quick commercial. We'll let you go. So Lisa, tell everyone how they can find you.
Sure. You can find me at lzlcoaching.com, and I do divorce coaching, divorce transition, and life transition coaching. So I'm here for you. So
So great. You do so much and in your community and everything. So it's just really great having you. And it's such an honor to have you as a host on the show. And of course, she does Dishing on Divorce, and that is on Tuesdays, and then Dishing on Divorce Next Chapter, and that's on Wednesdays. So it's a bi-weekly show. So she's on both times. So you'll always catch her every week. So make sure that you check out our channel and catch her show. And if you haven't, go back and listen to the replays because they're there and they're wonderful shows and they're very helpful. Very, very helpful.
I've had a great time and I've learned so much. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what's been so great for me is being able to learn while I talk to people and making those connections.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you guys.
You
Bye.
too.
Okay, well, that was fun, wasn't it? We really had a good time. So
Yes.
let's do a quick commercial. We come back, we'll chat just a little bit more, and then we'll probably have to close out the show. But it is really fun having you guys here on Chicks Chat. So we'll be right back. So hang tight, everyone. If I can hit the right buttons, would be nice because I can see I'm so far away from the screen. Yeah. So we'll get it. We'll get it here. So thank you, everyone. Well, we're back. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. That's a radio station, so make sure you check that out. We do everything internet, so this is newstreamingnetwork.com. It's home of Going Solo and Going Bold, and we're actually going bold tonight because we're talking with Chicks, right? Chicks Chat. And tonight we're talking about really the inspiration of what we want to accomplish maybe in 25, what we want to focus on both professionally and personally. And that's kind of an important thing. And what I'm finding, I don't know about you ladies, Grace Ann, Joanne, what we're finding is that a lot of us have so much in common. You know, when we're talking about things that we want to focus on, we talked about really trying to put ourselves out there and have more joy in our life, you know, have more fun, think about things that we might be interested in. We talked about our finances, focusing a little bit on that, seeing where our money's going, but mainly thinking about, you know, filling our own cup, you know, making sure that our retirements are taken care of, things for us that are taken care of, and projecting a little bit more further into the future with that. And then you, of course, our connection expert, talk a little bit more about connecting, more of your intuitive. We talked about being intuitive, your signs, things like that, and connecting with experts. If you need somebody, get an expert to do it. You know, don't get yourself all frazzled doing something that maybe you can't do. And you might make a friend along the way. And that's what I have done in my life. I've been very lucky and very fortunate to have wonderful friends that have helped me out to do various different things that I needed to have done. And it's been just really a blessing, totally a blessing. So is there anything else that you ladies can think about that we want to maybe project in the future of doing the show? Should we do this show again? Do you think it was fun?
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd love to
So
do
we
it
got
again.
Grace Ann signed up to do
Yes.
it again? Yes.
And Cece and I always wear shirts like this.
That's
when we go
right.
away,
Want to be on TV?
So
Want to be on
any of you
TV?
want to be on any of Cece's shows, just call Cece and there's probably a show that you would be a perfect guest expert on.
And then I'll try to get you on. It's so funny. It's
Or
like,
you might want to have your own show.
it's like all my friends is like, be a friend with Cece, and then you end up getting on the show because we always like, come on, get on the show. Because here's the thing about it, and I just want to share that, is that I don't think that we can see within ourselves the qualities that we have. You know, I really don't think that we can see it. It's our friends that see what we have. They see that underlying, you know, everything that's there, you know, all the facade that we put on in, you know, when we're out working and we're out doing the things that we have to do and we're running around, you know, doing what needs to be done each and every day. They, you know, we ourselves don't see, you know, what's from within and what we're capable of doing. And so often it is our friends that push us to that next level. They push us and say, you can do this. You can save more money, right? You and I want to save more money. We can save more money. We can like she says, I can be a little bit more stylish. She's my styler, so I can be a little bit more stylish. And then you always encourage me to get out there and really connect with people and understand them and see where they're from and really truly be that. And then the other thing, Joanne, you do so beautifully is you are always manifesting and being positive, moving forward in your life. And just like if you guys didn't hear the first part of the show, she has sparking angels. Okay, we all need these sparking angels. And so I didn't even know there were sparking angels. So I think I'm going to get myself some parking angels, or maybe I'm going to say, God, could I borrow the parking angels for a little bit?
I have more than one, so you can.
See? So little did I know, and you learn it right here on Talking with the Chicks. So make sure you do that each time. So we're going to close the show. Anything you guys want to say at the last part of it?
Women keep all the chicks out there, keep lifting each other up.
Absolutely.
And keep believing you're worth it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, you heard it from the chicks tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you will join us on the next show. If you're listening to this, we will send you a link and you can come on live with us. We'd love to have you. And then if you want to just be in the background, listen, maybe do some comments. We would love to have your comments. We can bring your comments up, questions, things like that, and we can share it with the audience and talk to you. So we hope that you'll do that next time. So this is kind of an impromptu kind of show we did here tonight. I wanted to see if people would enjoy it and like it, and I think it really went very well. So I hope you guys, if you see it up again, I don't have a time slot for it, but if you see it up again, I hope you will come right on board and join us here on the Chicks Chat. I am Cece Shatz. We have Grace Ann, Joanne Weiland here with me, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.